Hey everyone, Mr. A here. I hope everyone's doing spectacular today. So from the previous video, we talked about gravity. So essentially what we did was just program gravity into Scratch and have our sprite jump from platform to platform. So in today's video, in the platform game, we're going to be adding even more flair to our game to actually have a real game. Let's see how that looks, and let's get started with our program. First things first is when I start a new line of code, I am going to be going to my events block, and I'm going to have when my green flag is pressed. So what I'm going to do now is just a quick review of the gravity program. So this is fairly simple. If you have any other questions regarding gravity, go ahead and jump back to the previous video, which is called gravity, to see what we did in better detail. Let's go ahead and program gravity. So I'm going to go to control, grab my forever block, and if my space key is being pressed, oh, I forgot the if statement, there it is being pressed, I want my gravity to be activated. But remember, there's no specific coding blocks for gravity, so we're gonna have to be creating a variable. So let's go ahead and call it gravity. So when my space bar is pressed, I'm gonna set gravity to 20. So remember, setting my gravity to 20 just sets it to how high I can jump. And in order to jump, I need to change y by 10, right? So change by y by 10. And this is going to repeat. So let's go ahead and grab that repeat until. So what we're going to have in the repeat until is having our sprite fall. So when our sprite is falling, remember in the y direction, when we're going down, that's the negative direction. So we're going to go to change gravity by -1 because we're falling. And since we're falling, we're just going to set it to the y direction because that's when we're falling, along the y direction. So let's go back to gravity. And all that is going to repeat until I'm touching my platform color. So let's go back to sensing. And I'm going to be grabbing the touching color, and until I'm touching that platform color. So now that I have that set up, let's go ahead and from my backpack, bring in the moving blocks. So I'm going to clean my code real quick, and I'm not going to need the up and down arrow, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those as well and clean up my blocks. And when my program starts, I want my program to start right over here, and what I'm gonna do first is actually just change the size of my sprite, change it to 50. So I'm gonna have it go to that specific location right over here. Alright, so now when I go ahead and start my program, so now I'm able to jump and move around, which is awesome. And even get into the platform. But this is pretty simple, so let's go ahead and even add more flair to it. So let's go ahead and add a little key up there. So what I'm going to be doing is finding a key from Scratch, and I believe Scratch has a key somewhere around here. Let's see if we can find it. There it is, the key. So I'm going to have my key go to that specific location. So when I start my program, I want my key to go to that position. And once I'm at that position, I want the taco to touch the key, and once the key is touched, we're going to switch levels. How does that look like? So we're going to go ahead and go into forever. And if my key is touching the taco, we're going to be switching backdrops. So switch backdrop to level 2. So if I go back to my stage and go to my backdrops, what I did was already just have levels set up already, just so we can get through the video a little quicker. So now let's go back to the key. So I have it where when my game starts, it will be going to that specific location, and once I touch it, I'm going to be switching to level 2. So let's see how that looks. Oh, let's go ahead and make sure that our sprite is up there. So now let's go ahead and hit the green flag. So see, we have this issue of where our gravity's falling forever. So this happens because our gravity never resets. So in order to fix that issue, we're going to grab the set gravity to 0 and just put it up there. So anytime I start my code, my gravity resets to 0, and I always start at that position once again. So now when I touch my key, now I switch levels, right? But I don't want my taco to be in that specific location, and I don't want the key to be there anymore once I switch levels. So let's go ahead and change that. In order to have my key sprite disappear when I'm switching levels, I'm going to go to my events block and actually grab the block that allows me to do that. So when backdrop switches to level 2, I'm going to have my key now hide. But if I'm going to hide it, I need to make sure I need to show it in the beginning, so my key is still there in the first level but hidden in the second level. Another thing I want to add is I want to have my taco start at this position when it switches to level 2. So we're going to be going back to the control settings, and when we switch to level 2, I will have my taco go to that specific location. So now when we go ahead and start a game, let's see how that looks. So as I jump, touch the key, and now I start that position, which is awesome. So this is just a simple version of the platform game. So let me go ahead and show you one of my students' projects, which is a complete version of the platform game. So here we have Scratch Cat and his pogo stick. So here we have a variable, which is time, just timing us to see how long it takes us to complete our game. Here we have the same gravity program, but in this case, we're repeating it until we're either touching two colors, either the green color or the orange color. So we're able to touch two different platforms that are two different colors without having any issues. Down here we just have our simple moving left to right program. And here we have when we touch a certain position on the x-axis, we're going to switch backdrop and go to a specific location. And same down here. When I touch a certain color, something's going to happen. And when I touch another color or an object, which is Gabble Mad, which is this sprite down here, something's going to happen. So we talked a little bit about the code, so let's go ahead and actually run it and see how it looks. So I'm always jumping forever, which is pretty awesome. So remember, this is forever going to happen as long as I'm touching either the green or the orange. So we're going to keep jumping back and forth as long as I'm touching one of those colors. So let's go ahead and continue our game. And if I touch the red, what happens? So if I touch the red color, I could just go back to the beginning. So that's what that code there explains. And in this case, if I touch the sprite, it would take me back to the beginning. Let's try one more time. There we go. And if I touch the blue, so what it does is gives me a higher bounce when I touch the blue. And hey, why is there nothing here? Oh, why is there nothing there? That's very true. Oh, it's the end. Nice. How far is the end? Well, I guess that's the end of the program. So this is a full version of the platform game, but keep in mind, you can do anything with the platform game. So this is the end of this video. So my challenge for you all is to create your version of the platform game that has different sprites, different levels, different obstacles, and actually make it a very interesting game. So I will be seeing y'all in the next video.